Good morning and welcome to Today in LA. I'm Mike Amos, hoping that you're doing well this morning. I run a little bit late, sorry about that. I had a little hookup this morning that I couldn't get away from, and hope everybody's doing well as we start a Wednesday, the 25th day of July, and we're looking at just 2 days from now, the reunion 2018, and of course the big event is this Saturday from the Troy Country Club for the classes of 1950 to 1973. Hope that we have a lot of folks that come to that event. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's the second annual, and last year we had a huge crowd, and looking for another big crowd this year. Post 70 heads to Pelham for the state tournament, and boy, they've had a great year, 24-6 on the year. Post 70 American Legion baseball, coached by Rush Hickson, and boy, he's put together quite a team. And Post 70 made 2 lengthy trips this summer to Sumter, South Carolina, and to Columbia, Tennessee for 2 different tournaments, and that opportunity gave Post 70 a chance to come together as a team. And they are really playing well right now, so we'll be looking and watching that very closely as they head to Pelham, Alabama for the state American Legion baseball tournament. A lot of other things going on. Of course, high school football just a few days away. I was looking at my famed calendar over here, and I was telling some people yesterday that, hey, it's just around the corner. Well, hey, it's not just around the corner, it is here. And the graduation for summer commencement is Friday morning from the Trojan Arena. They're expecting to give over 500 diplomas. They had a record enrollment this spring, record graduation this spring of over 700, and they're going to graduate 500 more this Friday from the Trojan Arena right here in Troy. Of course, I want to mention Saturday or Wednesday, August the 1st, is the first official day of high school football practice. Of course, it's been going on all summer long, and I was watching the team practice a little bit yesterday in the stadium. Boy, it's hot. 96 degrees expected tomorrow and Saturday, so going to be very hot and humid weather ahead of us. And of course, you can look for the rain anytime you got that kind of heat. When the cool air meets the hot air, they say it rains, and sometimes it pours, and we had a big rain yesterday. I want to mention, of course, Troy University's graduation being this Friday, and we're talking about, I'm thinking somewhere around the 15th or 16th, is when Troy University starts school. So we're not far away, and of course the first football game will be starting this Saturday, will be 5 weeks away, 5 Saturdays away from tomorrow, so that's not much, and we can look forward to a great time, great fun. And if you haven't bought your tickets yet to Trojan football, you need to go ahead and do it. No better deal anywhere. You know, there's not a bad seat in that stadium, and of course the new renovations, I think you're going to find to be very, very nice. But to watch a Troy University football game this season, you can get a season book for $60. That's 6 games for $10 a piece. You're not going to find that kind of bargain anywhere in college football. And of course, they'll work out family packages for you. They'll, of course, it's always fun to bring the whole family out to enjoy it. Max Federal Credit Union on the bypass in Troy, and appreciate those folks today. Great guys and girls, and they're really on fire at Max Federal Credit Union on the bypass right here in Troy. I want to mention also our good friends at First Cahaba Bank, located just off South Brundage Street right here in Troy. Of course, they've been active in Troy for over 2 years now, but They're moving into a brand new facility just off of the bypass right here in Troy, and we'll be talking more and more about that as a new bank is coming to town. It's called Cahaba Bank. Their headquarters are out of Selma, Alabama. It's a very good bank and very good people working at that bank. So you're going to be involved the more and more days very close to completion of their new facility. And you drive by Publix and you look to your left and there it is, and a lot of growth in that area, and appreciate Grady Capps and all the great people at Cahaba Bank, located right now just off South Grundy Street in Troy. The Troy Trojan watch list continues, and found out yesterday that Blaise Brown, Troy's cornerback, is on several watch lists, and also a young man that's just come out of nowhere. He was a walk-on. His name is Hunter Reese. He's a linebacker, and gosh, he's been nominated to several awards. He's been named first team All Sun Belt as a linebacker with 14 tackles last year for losses and 6.5 sacks last year. He's a headhunter, and he has just worked his way up to all-star type status. Brown is a preseason Sun Belt first team selection, and enters the 2018 season second among all the active players in America with 11 career interceptions. He's a senior out of Canton, Georgia, and he is a good one. So we've got several players that are being honored preseason by the different coaches, polls, and media polls out there. Good article by Mike Hensley today. The Sun Belt Conference continues to rise within the group of five, and Coach Carl Benson has all kinds of praise for the Sun Belt Conference, which for the first time this year will have a championship game. In the past, they've haven't had the actual division, different divisions. You've got a East Division and a West Division. Well, Troy is in the West Division with teams like, let's see here. Well, one of them would be Louisiana Monroe, Louisiana, which is Louisiana Lafayette, South Alabama, yes, USA, and we already said Monroe, and okay. The other one would be, of course, out of the mountains, and they were named to be the top team in the country, but got quite a few of these schools in different locations, and it makes it for a more fun conference to watch. In fact, you look at Boone, North Carolina is a long ways away, but it is a great program, and it's going to come down to, they're the preseason pick, and Troy is ranked preseason in second place. But what we hope will happen is that Troy will win the East and will play the West Division champion in Troy for the conference championship, which could very easily happen, and that would be the first week in December. And of course, every year you'll have a playoff to see who is the conference champion. So that's going to be fun, and it's going to add to the conference. I tell you what, it's going to do more than anything. It's going to be a revenue thing for the Sun Belt, because they'll take all that revenue from that playoff and put it back into the conference, and so it could be a lot of fun. And we're excited about the coming football season. We'll be talking more and more about it with you. I want to mention some other guys getting after it right now is the Charles Census High School Trojans, and Javontrez Allen and Zach Jones are selling Trojan cards to raise money for the high school and middle school program. So I know a lot of folks would like to buy this. This would be a card that will give you discounts at a lot of different stores and places of interest in Troy, Alabama. Good picture of those guys in the Messenger today, and I know they're getting ready for football. They'll have picture day tomorrow at Charles Census High School, and a lot of folks will be getting ready for that, cheerleaders and band and football teams. Of course, I want to mention this show is brought to you by Premier Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram on the bypass, and right now they got a pre-owned summer clearance sale. $55 down is a done deal. Can you believe that? Right now, manager special, they got a 2013 Chrysler for $7,499, and all you have to do is pay $55 down. They've got a 2016 Chevy Malibu for $8,900, only $55 down. The manager special of Jeep Renegade, 2015 for a little over $12,000. 2015 Dodge Journey for $13,899. The sales go on and on and on at Premier Dodge Chrysler Jeep on the bypass right here in Troy. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back.
At the Piggly Wiggly, we proudly support our local farmers and bring you the best they have to offer, all at cost plus 10%. When you shop local, you reinvest in your community. Remember, buy local, shop local. Piggly Wiggly, local since forever.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation under God, indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all.
Here at Town & Country, we are proud to be an American.
We've had you covered on the inside since 2005, and with our addition of Southern Grill and Patio, we now have you covered on the outside. Come see our great selection, where we make sure grilling and relaxing go hand in hand.
Come see us at Don Walker Western Wear. From boots, jeans, and jackets to shirts, hats, and belts, we're your headquarters for Western wear for the entire family. With the largest selection of jeans in town, we carry famous brands like Wrangler, Levi, Carhartt, Ariat, and Cinch. We've also got plenty of styles of boots to choose from, including Justin, Lucchese, Ariat, Tony Lama, Red Wing, Dan Post, and Corral. So come on in to Don Walker Western Wear, located on Highway 231 in Troy.
A personal touch, a high level of trust. Whether it's checking and savings accounts, personal or business loans, or our local friendly service. That's what Troy Bank and Trust customers expect. But now we offer more. Free identity theft protection for our new and existing customers, protecting your family's time, money, and good name from identity theft. Because protecting your identity is now a big part of our identity.
At the Piggly Wiggly, we proudly support our local farmers and bring you the best they have to offer, all at cost plus 10%. When you shop local, you reinvest in your community. Remember, buy local, shop local. Piggly Wiggly, local since forever.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Back to our show, brought to you by Jean's Flowers on South Brundage Street right here in Troy. And they can mail flowers anywhere in this country and in foreign countries. They can mail beautiful flowers and decorations right there from their store on South Brundage Street. We appreciate Martha Lynn and all the great people there. Dowling Rental, located in Enterprise, Dalco Rentals, and of course Warren and all the great folks there. Dowling family has been in the business a long time, and like I always say, from a lawnmower to a bulldozer, they've got it for rent. We guess who's on the other line? Guess who's on the other line? Bud. Bud, my good buddy from Luverne. How you doing, Bud?
I'm fine, Mike. How's everyone over in Pike County?
We thought you were dead. I looked through the obituaries for the last month. I said, "Where's Bud? He must be going by another name." Is that right?
Well, I had a vacation over here in the Crenshaw County Jail for about a month, so I just got out the other day and thought I'd give you a call this morning. Football season right around the corner.
Well, Bud, it's always good to hear from you. Tell us about what's happening in Luverne. You're our Luverne connection.
Well, everything you talking about earlier about football season starting in college and 5 Saturdays, you know, we've got some private schools that start their first ball game will be the 17th of August.
Man, is that regular season or jamboree?
Yeah, Crenshaw's got a regular season. They start their regular season on the 17th against Calvary Christian.
Isn't that amazing? And, of course, Crenshaw's got a pretty well-known coach this year, too, doesn't he? Wayne Grant.
Wayne Grant, he's been working them hard. And, you know, everyone in the area knows anything about high school football knows about Coach Wayne Grant and what he's done.
You know, let me tell you something else, too, Bud. You don't just get a football coach, you get a great teacher, too. And
absolutely.
He is a super science teacher, and you know, he could have been a medical doctor just as soon as he could have been a great coach. And
well, that's right. And I've got 2 nephews that play over here at Crenshaw, and one of them's a junior, and one of them's a sophomore. And the sophomore, he really likes Coach Grant on his classroom. He's done a lot of talk during spring, during summer workouts about, you know, the medical profession. And he's got an older brother who's a nurse practitioner.
Yeah.
And he's leaning toward that field and has really talked really high about Coach Grant, not only on the football field, but like you said, his background in biology and the medical profession and all that.
And that really sneaks up on me. The 17th of August, Crenshaw Christian will be playing football. Isn't that amazing?
That's right, and I hadn't looked at. I'm beginning this week to look at stuff going around in other schools and other areas. You know, Luverne kicks off their season. Now we got a spring jam. We got not a spring jamboree. We got a preseason opener against Geneva County. Then we open up regular season at home against Georgiana, which will be a real good.
Well, what's the date on that? Do you know?
Sir?
What's the date on that, Bud? Do you know? That'll be the 24th or what?
On the 24th, we go to Geneva County, and then on the 31st, the regular season starts.
Oh, the 31st, regular season starts.
Yeah, and we host Georgiana over here.
Oh, man, that's going to be a good one. Georgiana, man, their program has really gotten good. What's the story? The coach or what?
Yeah, Coach Powell's, you know, a lot of schools, a lot of kids that go through school and play football and have winning traditions. It happens at Luverne, Brantley, all the area schools. And get a real good athlete, go to college, and come back and hire the hometown boy, hero, and he becomes a good coach. Coach Powell over there played at the University of Auburn or University of Alabama. You know, he had a brother that played at Auburn, and I think he played at Alabama.
That's right, yeah.
And he's come back and took that program over, and he's no nonsense right down the line the way he was coaching high school and college, and you know, he calls it like he sees it, and if it's either his way or the highway.
That's right. That's the way it's supposed to be. You're exactly right. And that's amazing. We're talking to Bud from Luverne. Bud, how did your rec ball teams do this summer?
We had some pretty good games over here. Of course, you know, around this area, Troy and Enterprise and those type of teams are the teams to beat in youth ball. And we had eight girls and under went to the state tournament.
And that was real good out of Luverne, Alabama. Isn't that right?
And then we had the 10-year-old girls went to the state tournament in Montgomery. And I don't know if I've told you this or not, but you know, Crenshaw County in softball has been really, really good as far as girls softball.
Oh yeah,
We had Tori Free over here at Luverne. She signed
Now let me tell you something. I want to hear what you got to say about her.
Listen, she was great. She played under Coach Simmons over here. Good attitude. She listens. She learns. She takes the coach's advice. She don't get down on herself. Just a fine young lady, not only in school and her academics and athletic achievement, but a fine asset to the community. Now she's back at Luverne coaching and teaching some over here, and she went to St. John's on a scholarship. She went to Pat Murphy at the University of Alabama. Really took a hard look at Torrey Free when she was coming out of high school.
Yeah.
But he decided somewhere down the line it fell through the cracks, and she went to St. John's. Done really well up there.
Well, I tell you, the one I was thinking that you were going to mention also is the Brantley pitcher that's so good that signed with Troy. Tell us about her.
Let me say this. Let me go on and what I'm saying about Crenshaw County ladies softball.
Yeah.
We've had some pitchers come through here. Torrey Free, the Johnson girl, Alex Wilcox.
Yeah, Alex Wilcox.
I mean, they dominant. I mean, folks are looking at them from all around. And the Johnson kid played a lot of summer ball in other states, and she went to a tournament early in the year.
And she's the kid that signed with Troy, is that right?
She signed with Troy and has several major college, and I'm not saying Troy's major, but big time universities look at her and want her to, she said I've done committee, done signed with Troy.
Yeah, oh yeah.
She's really a great athlete.
She's a franchise player, Bud. You in softball you got to have that, excuse my language, stud pitcher. Well, she is definitely that, and she can take you to the promised land. You know what I mean?
She'll put you on another level. Levels. I mean,
I think she was 49-5 this year or something like that, which is phenomenal pitching, and had several.
I'm going to give you two names over here in Crenshaw County that you need to look for in the future.
Okay.
One of them is a 8th grader over here at Crenshaw Christian. I cannot remember her first name, but her last name is Henderson.
Okay.
She is something to watch. She's right in that category with Wilcox and Johnson.
You're talking about a pitcher? She's a pitcher?
She's a pitcher. That's right.
And you got to have a pitcher or you're not going to win. Isn't that right?
and she's been looked at by several private schools around here, but she's at Crenshaw Christian, does a great job. Then there's a 10-year-old out of Brantley, Alabama, Torrey Free's niece.
Yeah.
First cousin. Last name is Free.
Oh boy, yeah.
Anna Claire Free.
Anna Claire Free. Isn't that a great name?
10-year-old in her first ball game.
She's a 10-year-old?
10-year-old. State game, opening round, 17 strikeouts and a one-hitter.
Oh, man. And she's 10 years old.
She's 10 years old, and she is.
She probably could. Hey, she could probably strike me and you out right now, couldn't she?
No doubt. But those are the two names over here in Crenshaw County that you need to watch down the road. It's really going to make a name, just like the previous young ladies we talked about.
Well, I tell you, it sounds great, and I'm proud of that program over there. And these girls, man, it's amazing, especially these programs at Brantley and Goshen and Charles Henderson and Pike. All of them are really, their programs are just getting better and better. This Dixie Bells team from Troy goes to Alexander, Virginia at the end of the week to play in the World Series.
That's right.
And she...
Go ahead.
No, that's 13, 14, 15-year-olds, and they beat the best teams in the state, to get there.
Absolutely. But let me tell you what, the players we just mentioned and the players that we're talking about down the road, let me tell you the one thing that they all have in common, besides a great attitude: the love of the game. And they do things off the practice field and off the game field. They do things at home to make them better. They go to camps. They go to pitching classes. They do this. They get instructors. They do the things off the field on their spare time to make them better. And that's what all these girls have in common.
And boy, you're exactly right. And that's why they're so good. That might be why Brantley is so good in everything they do. Is they work at it. It's good coaching, but they work at being better.
Well, teams, the young kids, and I've coached kids from Brantley and Luverne and Highland. The kids at Brantley come up, they've had such a long tradition of winning.
They expect to win, don't they?
They expect to win. When they enroll in the first grade, they looking to win. That's all they know is.
Yeah, exactly. Something green and white in their cradle, don't you think?
Absolutely. Let me tell you, I've coached several teams and carried several teams to the districts and to the state tournament. And you'll pick 4 kids from over here in Crenshaw County. You'll get 4 kids from Highland Home. You'll get 4 kids from Luverne, and you'll get 4 kids from Brantley. Now, when we go to a tournament game, let me tell you what happens. The kids from Highland Home and Brantley, Luverne, their mothers and daddies will come in with shirts that says Crenshaw County All-Stars, my son so-and-so number on his name on his shirt. But when Brantley folks roll through the gate, all they got on is green that says Brantley. That's what I'm talking about. It's a different environment over in Brantley, Alabama, than it probably is any other place in South Alabama.
No question about it. But I've got Max Howell calling in. But listen, anytime, we love hearing from you, my friend.
Well, that's fine, Mike. I appreciate it.
But hey, we love what you got to say, and we enjoy you. And you could call every day, and we wouldn't be tired of it. I promise you.
I'm going to call you later. I'm going to do some computer work on some college and high school football in a couple of days.
Be a lot of fun. A lot of fun, my friend. Thank you here.
Take care.
Bye-bye. Good morning. You're on Today in L.A. How you doing?
Mike, it's Max. How are you this morning?
Max Howell calling in from Fulton, Mississippi. Busy Max Howell this time of year. Is that right?
Yeah, we're trying to get a lot of things going, Mike. Of course, football season's right around the corner. We're trying to launch a new radio station in Tupelo, Mississippi. The first all-time sports talk station they've had here in about 10 years. So we're excited about what's going on up here.
Well, no question about it, and we appreciate you giving us a little bit of your time today. Of course, Max Howell, one of the leading sports analysts in the country. And Max, everybody just said Alabama, but we're really talking about, I mean, it's not going to be easy. I mean, Georgia's going to have a good team. LSU's going to be much better. There's going to be a lot of teams that are going to contest this great run Alabama's got, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I think here's what happens, Mike. I think the difference where a lot of analysts sit back and watch, they watch each team each week, and Alabama's really the only team out there that either stays consistent or gets better. You go back and look, LSU had a couple of games last year. Auburn always has a couple of bad games every year. Georgia lost the championship. They lost 7 starters on the defensive side. I think, and I try to be very objective about that, Mike, but I spent a long time, working in that area and watching progression and watching how teams improve and watching scheduling. There's so many, consistent components that you have to evaluate. And I think that's why everybody's, all the analysts around the country stay with Alabama, because Saban's done a great job in keeping that team consistently at the top.
No question about it. And, I noticed that a lot of teams now, Max, are starting to try to recruit like Alabama. And right. This includes Auburn, this includes Mississippi State, it includes LSU. They're trying to build their program up front, on the defensive side of the ball, where they won't get knocked off the ball, and then of course on the offensive side, people are realizing more and more the game is won in the trenches still. Don't you agree?
No doubt about it. And I think if Auburn, downside for Auburn this year, so four seniors ahead up front, I think it's going to take them a little while. And Mike, and we look at it every year. And we try to pick out some key ball games. There'll be, could be a deterrent to them getting to the playoff or having a good year. And I'm going to say to you right now, of all the games Auburn's got to play, I'm putting a lot of emphasis on that first one. They need to beat Washington in that open ball game.
And Washington, if they beat Auburn first game, they could be off and running.
Absolutely right.
But we're talking about, in that game, 2 of the best quarterbacks in the nation going against each other, wouldn't you say?
Very true. I think talent-wise, from top to bottom, on the offensive side, I think Washington's got the edge. They got a stable running back. They got 3 returning starters on offense. On the defensive side, I'm gonna give it to Auburn. I think I told you.
Oh yeah, they're better defensively than they've ever been, I would think.
Absolutely right. And I made the comment after the spring game. what I saw that day, Auburn needed to put on first down.
You're exactly right.
Because I think they're that good.
Yeah.
I really do.
Let me ask you something while we're on that subject. Max, I've never asked you this question or not. Why, back in the 60s, Alabama used to quick kick.
Yep.
They everybody runs out of the shotgun now. And the quarterbacks are good athletes. Why not on 3rd and 28 you kick the ball instead of trying to make a first down? You're not going to make a first down. Percentages are there that you're not going to make a first down. So won't you kick it and let the ball roll downfield about 60 yards?
Well, see, but Carl, a couple of things, Mike. One, the offense, and I worked on both sides. The offensive mindset is we can make a first down regardless of what the stats say because they throw the ball.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
They can spread the field. And now, Mike, they've taken, and Hal Mumme really started this philosophy where he mismatched players. He run formations where in their game planning they find a safety, for example. There was a 4-6 guy and rather than being a 4-4 guy. And they match up a wide receiver on him inside on the slot and try to beat him man on man. Just like basketball. Same concept. That's what he used to call it, fast break on grass.
Oh, yeah.
And he started that, and that's why they don't do that anymore. It's like a wasted down to him. And particularly if the defensive side of the ball is not as good as it needs to be. If the offense is having to carry the team, they don't want to turn the ball over. If the defense is not as good, they have to go from behind.
This new rule, where a kid can, if he's got some years of eligibility left, he can graduate like this summer and he got eligibility left, he could go somewhere and play.
Right.
And a lot of people think Hurts at Alabama could do that even this year. And now this sounds crazy, but the second or third week or the second week of practice, he can see the writing on the wall that he's not going to be the quarterback. He could call Ohio State up and say, "Hey, I'm ready. I can come play for you right now." Is that right?
But they can't. But academically, they can't. See, they can't get to school. That's the difference right there, Mike.
All right. Why do you say that now?
Well, they can't get. It's after school starts academically.
Yeah. I'm just saying school hasn't started. Let's just say the second week of preseason. You're right. I could understand that.
Yeah, after the season starts, they cannot do that.
Yeah, I know it, but I would agree that. But let's say preseason practice. Now you're right. Most people start school about the second week of August. But let's say he goes in there with preseason warm-ups and or workouts, and the other guy's getting all the shots and everything.
What they're trying to do, Mike, is give that athlete every opportunity. Here's what you remember, and a lot of people don't want to think about it this way. But remember, the college game at any level is still like the minor leagues of the NFL, because there is no NFL. And the kid in the NFL will tell those guys, go where you can perform the best.
Exactly.
We get a chance to look at you, see. So it's like it's a business, Mike, at the top level.
I would think the most successful player ever by doing that is the Seattle quarterback that left. Let's see. Now, where did he start? Let's see. I know he went to.
He went to North Carolina State, I believe.
That's right. He went to North Carolina State, and then later on he switched that and went to Wisconsin, didn't he?
Right. Yeah, he went to Wisconsin, then on to the.
And he was a perfect example of what you can do with that new rule. And so actually, until after school starts, he must be enrolled, and he can't go after that. Is that right?
Yeah, he could drop out and then re-enroll, at the next semester. Be there for spring. Now, here's the tricky part to me is as long as his school had, as long as he didn't play in a ball game. Now, this is the first thing. Used to, if you played in a ball game, that took you eligibility. Now, remember, they're going to give him 4 ball games.
That's right.
See, so that he may stay the first week and even play a little, and then get this flu or whatever, drop out. Does that count as a year eligibility? Probably not.
Isn't that amazing? That's what we're talking about, and this could happen in certain scenarios, of course, Auburn is a good example of being able to get the guy to transfer, and he's a great player. But and then you take the Georgia quarterback, he gets hurt, and this other guy comes in, and now the Georgia quarterback's playing out west somewhere, isn't he?
You're absolutely right now. And here's but then you got you get Fromm comes in there as a freshman.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Championship game. He gets bunged up in the off season in the spring game, and they bring Justin Fields in.
That's right.
The freshman quarterback, and they end up as a starter.
Yeah, isn't that amazing? I tell you, Georgia looks like they're what the old politician used to say. It looks like a new beginning with Georgia. Georgia's program looks strong.
I think they've done a better job recruiting than they have coaching. Number 3.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna tell you, they lost the championship game over coaching error. And that's a flat fact, and you can go back and look at the tape.
What was that actually, Max?
Well, the defensive back read the corner wrong. He came up on, he hit on a.
Oh yeah, on the touchdown pass, yeah.
Right, and touchdown pass, and and this is what, and I love the Georgia people. Remember, I covered for 10 years.
Sure, you sure did.
But Mike, I love it because they just get all hyped, and they have a right to be.
Yeah.
But they lost the ball game on the championship on a coaching error by the head coach that coaches defensive backs and played the defensive
That's right.
backs.
That's right.
So I really get it.
But let me tell you something. I was able to visit up there. We went up there with the Troy baseball team and stayed up there 4 days. And Georgia is a beautiful campus, a big campus, and their facilities, especially their new indoor facility, is the best in college football. Let me tell you what I see Georgia now. They finally got a coach that will hit you in the mouth. And those kind of coaches, Pat Dye was a hit you in the mouth coach. Bear Bryant was a hit you in the mouth coach. Billy Atkins was hit you in the mouth coach. I mean, a coach that their players are, and people say, Mike, why you say that? Hey, these are coaches that the players are scared to death of. You know what I mean? You can't be there, buddy. Isn't that right, Max? You can't be there, buddy.
The fear factor is still very alive and well in college football. Like, trust me, even though a lot of people don't want to talk about it, you don't think the fear factor is not alive in Tuscaloosa?
Oh, gosh. They scared to death. I mean, I could see a kid right now being a first-team linebacker and says, hey, coach wants to see you in his office. Hey, he'd be scared to death until after that interview.
Hey, Mike, not only players, coaches are too.
Yeah, exactly. Especially Coach Bryant. Back in the days of they say this story about Coach Bryant, Max, and Coach Billy Atkins. There's so many stories about him too. But they said, back in the old days, and I hate to say this, but every coach used to smoke. Smoking a cigarette. Coach Bryant smoked a cigarette on the sidelines. But they said even in coaches' meetings, nobody would strike up a cigarette until Coach Bryant went ahead and struck up his first. If he hadn't lit up a cigarette, none of the rest of them would light one up until he did.
He set the tone on everything they did over there.
Exactly.
And I think we could have gotten away from that with a lot of coaches' personalities.
Yeah.
You find one that's got that kind of a personality, there's still a lot of respect there, Mike.
Exactly. And I was going to go down the list. Now, this is sort of silly in a way to some people, but hey, hitting somebody in the mouth is a major part of football. All right.
Yes.
Georgia's coach will hit you in the mouth. South Carolina's coach, Muschamp, will hit you in the mouth. The new Florida coach, I would think, would hit you in the mouth. I would say Tennessee's coach, we probably would. I don't think Missouri. I'm not going to say anything about Missouri or Kentucky. Now, Kentucky Stoops is sort of a hit you in the mouth guy, and Vanderbilt. But Alabama's guy is definitely a hit you in the mouth coach. Auburn. I don't know if Auburn's guy's a hit you in the mouth coach. He's a finesse coach more than anything, looks to me. LSU's definitely a hit you in the mouth, Coach. Mississippi State, and then I think now, and this is going to make them better, Max, is Texas A&M. Texas A&M and Georgia are the teams to watch because A&M's finally got a coach that'll hit you in the mouth and get in your face and in your, you know what I'm talking about?
Mike, let me tell you, I watched every spring game. The SEC channel had every spring game. I watched every one of them.
Yeah.
And at the end of the game, and Texas A&M was the only team in spring training that went live coverage on kickoffs, live coverage on punts.
Oh, yeah.
Did not have a colored jersey on. It was all live. And Jimbo Fisher said after that game, on quote, he said, "This is the softest football team I have been around. That will change."
Yeah. And, man, they get the players. They got the money. You know, Alabama's got the money, ladies and gentlemen, but nobody in college football has the money, they say, more than Texas A&M.
Let me give you some numbers, Mike. They ran it not just recently. They came out with the gross amount of income that each athletic department brought in this past year.
Yeah.
Texas A&M beat Alabama by $70 million.
$70 million more. And we're talking about spending money or money spent in the program.
Gross. That was the amount they took in from the athletic department.
Oh, man. Isn't that something? And now they got a coach now they're paying him for 10 years, $75 million, and I think about half of that is guaranteed. He could say
all of it, Mike, all of it.
Oh no! You mean he could walk in there today and say, "Hey, I'm out of here. Give me my money. I'm out of here." He could do that, couldn't he?
He sure could, no doubt.
But am I being very premature to say that? I really believe that the personalities of the coach at Georgia. Georgia's program might be the most up-and-coming program in the country. What would you think?
Yeah, they showing that on the recruiting trail, Mike. They just signed their 5th 5-star in this class coming up. Got commitment out of it, and most, Alabama's the only team that's been able to do that. Of course, Kirby Smart stayed with Saban for almost 15 years, so he understands what it takes to get those kids there. But here's some other things I think when you start to analyze. And a lot of coaches, Mike, I evaluated that thing for a long time, trying to say, okay, from a recruiting standpoint, because that's what I tried to do during the years. I looked at it, how does Alabama get those players every year? And most of them that they recruit, that come with high credentials.
Coffee.
Either going to the NFL or being All-American. And if some that don't, Mike, you never hear of. They just kind of fade away.
Exactly.
Well, it's all about the psychological aspect that they put in over there, and that's what Kirby Smart's doing. They find out where the players are. Then they don't take every 5-star that moves to commit to Georgia, and neither does Alabama.
Yeah.
And you're going to see that happen more and more times. Yeah. It's just not about their athletic ability. It's the complete composite of the individual. Can he be coached? What about his attitude? What about his academics? What about his discipline? Did he come from a disciplined household? All the things you think of in building a program, Saban has gone after those kids that already had all that.
Yeah.
And that was a rarity, Mike. That's a real rarity at that level.
Well, the talent is right now is going to Georgia, and wouldn't you say this? And a lot of people. All right, you're looking at the state of Georgia. You got Georgia and you got Georgia Tech. You look at the state of Alabama, you got Alabama, you got Auburn going after the best players in the state. There's no question that Georgia is going to out-recruit Georgia Tech every way you can do it. Don't you agree?
Very true. Very true.
So Georgia, one of the great football playing states in America is Georgia and Florida. Wouldn't you say?
No doubt about it. Right.
I mean, if you had to pick 2 states to recruit from in this country, wouldn't you say probably Florida and Georgia?
Well, that's in this part. Texas ranks right up there.
Yeah.
I'll tell you where. Let me tell you where it shifted from, Mike. I'm gonna tell you. It used to be Ohio State.
That's right.
Ohio, state of Texas, Florida, and California. That when I was I kept the chart in my office every day. I knew where the players were. However, that has shifted. You're absolutely right. Now it's Florida, Georgia, Texas, and then it's a toss-up where the others. It's still some up in the California's.
You don't hear as many of them from New Jersey and Pennsylvania like you used to. You remember?
No, Pennsylvania used to be a
See,
great.
Penn State used to get all these big linemen out of New Jersey. You remember that?
All right. Yeah, but that's all shifted there.
Yeah.
But Georgia is the state that's moved to the top in this part of the country, right there in the top 3 or 4.
Now let me ask you a question here. This is a big question, and people are going to, again, to say, Mike, where are you coming from? Tennessee is probably, Pruitt got the job at Tennessee, but the head coach is going to be Philip Fulmer, don't you think? He's going to call every major shot, don't you agree?
No, I don't, Mike.
You don't?
I think he'd love to. But
Now, he was a heck of a coach now.
I know it was, but they ran him off, Mike, at the end. He quit recruiting
Oh,
the
yeah.
last 2 years.
And that was probably the worst thing. That was probably the worst thing Tennessee's ever done, wouldn't you say?
I'm telling you, I agree there, but let me tell you, and the reason they went back to get him because the top administration was in such turmoil.
Yeah.
They got a board of directors up, a board of trustees that stays in constant turmoil. And they've had 3 presidents in the last 5 years.
Oh, man, that's unreal. And at one time, it was one of the great universities in America, wasn't it?
On top of that, they've run a deficit in the athletic department. They're $3 to $5 million in debt.
Isn't that
In the
amazing?
athletic department.
Yeah.
And that stadium seats 110,000 people.
Not knocking Pruitt, but it was hard. You could sort of tell, though, that this was a Philip Fulmer pick when they took Pruitt because...
About that, Bill. You're absolutely right about that, Bill.
Yeah.
I mean, he went after Pruitt to get... Remember, he was the one behind the scene that niched got the last athletic director fired because of the recommendation he had from the guy that was at New Jersey.
Yeah.
That was for the Browns.
Oh, yeah.
You remember that was the board of trustees. The Haslams were pushing that guy because he coached for Jimmy Haslam that owns the Browns.
Yeah.
And that Haslam's the governor. They all Tennessee people. That was what was pulling the strings up there. The politics instead of the quality.
All right, Georgia could win without getting a single player from any other state. Alabama probably could win without getting anybody from anywhere from the state of Alabama, but not quite as strong as Georgia. Don't you agree?
No, Georgia's putting out more high school players.
Well, they got Atlanta. I mean, you can make a living just on players within 50 miles from Atlanta, wouldn't you?
Well, it's a numbers game, Mike. It's 6 million people in Atlanta, Georgia now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a numbers game.
Yeah.
It's no different in Florida. 95% of the great athletes come from Orlando South, not North.
Yeah, exactly.
Just come out of the Panhandle. But 90% of the great ones, the speed kids, all come out of that Broward, Dade County area. Yeah. I used to recruit that area.
You look at Georgia. Georgia might be as high up as they've been in a while as far as the way they're looked at nationally. South Carolina, I don't really have that much respect for South Carolina, but I tell you who I think is going to be really good eventually is Florida because of the great players down there.
Well, look, Dan Mullen, and I've said to you this before, Dan Mullen can recruit and win at Mississippi State. I can guarantee he can recruit.
And he is a fiery guy, and people need to realize this too. Florida hadn't been the same since Mullen left. You know what I mean? He was their offensive coordinator under Urban Meyer. And Meyer, don't get me wrong, was a great coach, but Florida was good because of Mullen, probably, wouldn't you say?
Well, you go back and look at the quarterbacks. He's a quarterback coach.
Yeah.
He recruited the Smith kid. He coached and recruited, and he coached the kid, the Smith kid that was at Utah, went to the NFL.
That's right.
He recruited Tebow and Lee that was at Florida.
That's right.
Then he went on to Mississippi State. Dak Prescott.
Yes, sir.
Fitzgerald. Every one of these kids are all big.
You are exactly right, and that's something you need to look at. Look out for Florida. They'll be coming leaps and bounds, don't you think?
I'm going to tell you now, they got watch this, no doubt. They're number 3 quarterback on their roster. Mike, everybody better pay attention and pay close attention. His name is Emory Jones. He just enrolled as a freshman. He enrolled in January as a freshman this year. You know who Lamar Jackson was?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, this kid's just as good. I'm telling you. He's 6'1", he's 210 pounds, runs a 4.3, and can throw it through a ring shot.
That's what he wants, isn't it? That's what he wants.
Yeah, well, see, this is what, if you read all the stuff that Mullen puts out, he mentions him, but he says he's not quite ready yet. Look for him probably to get the start about the second or third ball game.
Yeah.
They'll probably start Olympic ranks the first ball game, mainly because he's been there before. And Mullen will play the politics right.
Yeah.
But I can promise you he puts wins ahead of everything.
So, of course, we're going to always say Alabama and Auburn are up. I would think their programs are in great shape. And, of course, Auburn's got the great quarterback. Anytime you got a quarterback that good, he makes everybody else look good. But Auburn right now does not have the premier running back unless they develop one. What do you think?
Very true, Mike. That's that and the offensive front bothers me for them this year. Defense, I have no reservation. I think they will be as good. And I think the kicking game. I think the Carlson kid, his brother that's been so good, Daniel's brother that's coming in.
Yeah.
Is going to be because he kicked.
Oh yeah, great kicker.
He kicked a couple of 60-yarders in spring training.
Oh man, that's
field goals.
They say he might even have a stronger leg, no question about it. Mississippi State, you were talking yesterday how much more fan support Mississippi State's gotten over the years. But I don't see them, for some reason, even though they're good on defense, they got those big defensive linemen, I don't look for them to be jumping all over anybody anytime soon. Do you think?
No, I think they're going to finish. I think they could finish as high as second. They can beat Auburn. Third is where I got them listed this year. I got Alabama, Auburn, Mississippi State, Texas A&M in that order in the West right now.
And I think it's just a matter of time that LSU is going to have to get rid of their guy. Their guy hey, that guy looks like a guy that needs to be frisked. You know what I mean? Look make sure he's not toting before he comes in the game. He looks like that kind of guy. He looks like a guy that should be somebody kissing his ring or something.
Ed Orgeron is a defensive line coach in the NFL.
You know him. You know him personally, don't you?
Yeah. See, my best friend worked for him. Dick Jenkins worked for him.
What kind of fella is Orgeron?
His ego used to be unbelievable, and he was very physical with everything.
He used to be what I call a badass in coaching.
He's mellowed to that point, though, Mike. He recognizes where everything so this he knows. They don't bubble Miami this year. That's another critical ball game. If they don't beat Miami in that opening ball game, which I think it's probably doubtful they are, I'm not sure he survives. I think they make a
They could get him. They could get him. Let me just say this, ladies and gentlemen. With Troy beating LSU, and I don't see it near way other people see. I thought Troy won the ball game in every phase of the game, but still that lingers above him losing to Troy, and he got a long way to go to remedy himself after that.
Mike, let me tell you another one too. At the end of the season, they should have beat Notre Dame in that bowl game. They were ahead with 3 minutes to go in the secondary relax. Notre Dame threw that long pass down the sideline and beat them. That carried over. The attitude carried over to it. And they got 4 quarterbacks on campus right now. They really Howell, the Burris kid that transferred from Ohio State. And here's my point to you about that. The kid may be a great kid, a great athlete. He never took a snap at Ohio State. If he was
isn't that amazing?
Why did they think he'd come in to start at LSU in the SEC?
That's right.
He may. Don't get me wrong. I'm just looking at it as it is today. Miles Brennan is a guy that was a number 2 down there, a kid from the coast. Then they changed the coordinators. He and Canada didn't get along at all. It just seems like internally they got things to overcome. I'm gonna say to you, if he doesn't win 9 or 10 this year, they'll have a coaching change at LSU.
No question about it. And so right now, LSU sort of in shambles. We're talking about the teams that are up that are really coming hard, and one of them, of course, is Georgia. There's no question about it. I don't see South Carolina moving anywhere anytime soon. Do you?
No. Here's the thing: you got to look. Where they are. They've got a few good athletes in that state, but they have to go out. They got to go to Florida. They got to go up down the coast to recruit.
And see, that's another problem. That's another problem Pruitt's going to have at Tennessee. is Tennessee, the state of Tennessee, is not a good place to recruit football
They
players.
don't
Is that
have the
right?
numbers. No, they don't have the numbers that can play at that level. And, in Memphis on the far side from Knoxville has been able to maintain a lot of those kids. Remember, in Memphis, you got Arkansas coming in, you got Ole Miss, you got Mississippi State, you got Missouri coming down.
And Missouri is a team that's going to be better, and something that surprises a lot of people. They're one of the top offensive teams in the country, and their offensive coordinator is Derek Dooley, who used to be the head coach at Tennessee. I remember when Troy played him, he had crutches.
A good friend of mine told me, you better watch that. He was based on what Derek did in Tennessee. He said, Dooley will have Locke, the quarterback, playing tackle.
Well, Drew Lock is the real deal, and Missouri is going to score on everybody, don't you think?
I'm going to tell you, he'll be the number one quarterback in the SEC this year if he does. Mike, he threw 45 touchdown passes, 4,000 yards last year against a team that didn't win the 7 games.
Exactly. They could be undefeated going into the Georgia game, but then they got, listen to this, this is what's so tough. They got Georgia, South Carolina, Alabama, and then Florida and Tennessee on their schedule.
They're going to lose 2 or 3 of those. I don't think there's any doubt.
I was looking at some of these schedules, and some of them are just almost unfair with the back-to-back games they got to play. You look at Tennessee, they've got Florida, Georgia, Auburn, Alabama, and South Carolina in a row. I mean, there's no way you can get out of that.
No, and based on what Pruitt said at the end of spring, he said he didn't have enough players that could play against each other.
The key to Tennessee is this Keller Chris, the quarterback that transferred from Stanford. If he could come in and really make a big roar, it could help. But I look for Pruitt. I look for Pruitt's going to be some trouble.
Yeah. Well, if he can get 6 wins this year, they might be. If he gets bowl eligible, they ought to make him coach of the year in the Southeastern Conference. I'm gonna tell you, there is no talent there. And whatever happened to Bruce Jones and all the hype that he brought in, the program just went downhill constantly. After he took over 1 year, then after that it went down to what they went 4 last year.
Yeah.
So, and I think Pruitt recognizes that, and I think Fulmer certainly recognizes that, and it's going to take him a couple of years probably to get it back. But it's no reason why Tennessee, Mike, you've been there before. I've done a half a dozen radio shows from down there on the river right below the stadium, and I'm telling you, on game day, that is a place to go and be. It's a huge.
And that fanfare is unreal. Now, I was up in the mountains for a week. One of the reasons I was saying that about Pruitt and Philip Fulmer, they had Philip Fulmer signs everywhere. Hey, I mean, let me tell you, the posters had Philip Fulmer's pictures saying Tennessee will be back, that kind of thing.
The reason is because there's so much instability in Tennessee when he took over. Remember, they fired the president. Resigned. It was a lady that had been there 2 or 3 years. The president resigned. They fired the athletic director, and then they did an audit and found out the athletic department was like $3 million in debt. And Fulmer comes in, and what they're trying to relive is when he won the national championship the year after Peyton Manning left. That's what they're trying to relive and bring back, that attitude and all. I think Fulmer's going to let Pruitt coach. I really do believe that. But I'll say this, give him about 3. If Pruitt hadn't turned it in about 3 years, they'll make another change up there.
And I'll tell you this, I don't see Arkansas doing anything, and I really don't see Ole Miss doing anything. They hired a guy, the old defensive lineman that played at Ole Miss that everybody loved, and I think the spirits are good at Ole Miss, but I don't think they got the players. What do you think?
No, they don't have enough depth, Mike. Their quarterback's going to be pretty good. They returned 4 starters on the offensive front, but defense, they're going to have to score 40 or 45 to win a ball game.
It is probably one of the most wonderful places to coach in America. When you say,
I absolutely agree.
I mean, you've been around it, you coached there, and I mean their fan base is next to none as far as class and the way they carry themselves.
Here's what I'll tell you that there'll be 10,000 people that go to Oxford that don't even want to go to the game. They during the ball game.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm telling you, Stadium Six about 65,000. But when the game's over, half of that almost will go straight to the Grove and stay.
You go to Mountain Brook, you go to Vestavia, you go to parts of Montgomery, even Troy, wherever. The good families, a lot of the good families are sending their kids to Ole Miss. It's the yuppie capital of the world.
Yeah, it is. I used to, I mean, look, I recruited there for 3 years. And the thing that I really felt bad about, I could go find good football players, but because of the attitude and atmosphere on campus, it was almost a disgrace to bring a kid. I mean, if a kid came from a middle to low middle income.
That's right, yeah.
And it's hard to, I couldn't bring a kid in there out of the Delta that I,
oh yeah, exactly.
In flip-flops, because everybody there was wearing polo shirts.
Exactly, and Oxford cloth, 100% cotton shirts.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And,
you're right. Yeah, that's very true.
But it is a quality place, and I went to the Auburn Ole Miss game a couple of years ago at Ole Miss, and oh man, the atmosphere was just next to none. But hey, after that, hotty toddy was what they had on their minds.
Yeah, well, let me just tell you, only place in America that red shirts miss Americans.
Yeah, exactly.
They had 3 or 4 in a row.
Yeah.
I used to take all the recruits to the Grove.
Yeah.
When I was there, and they'd have a list of fraternity guys sitting on one of the sidewalks.
Yeah.
And every woman that walked by, they'd throw off a number.
Yeah.
There was some grandmothers in there were getting 9s and 10s.
Yeah. You know, I don't know if they completely have overcome the dagger in the heart was when Archie Manning decided to go to Tennessee instead of Ole Miss. They're still feeling those effects because that was a possible national championship they could have won.
Well, it was, but Ole Miss didn't have the offensive front for Peyton to play behind, and they didn't have the support, the on-field support that Archie looked for. So they sent Peyton, he sent Peyton there. But now Eli came back and brought him back.
Exactly. But also remember who the Tennessee's offensive coordinator was too. He was like a daddy to him.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Of course he's over at Duke now.
You're right. I mean, so that whole thing. Let me talk to you just a little bit about Arkansas. Arkansas is going to change. Let me tell you.
They're loaded with money, aren't they?
Oh yeah. Remember they got 5 Fortune 500 companies in the real debt that include Walmart.
That's right.
All the Walmart people live just up the road from Fayetteville. But here's the thing: is the demographics there. Do you know within 10? Well, I think it's 15 or 20 miles of Fayetteville. You know what the population is? Over 450,000 people.
Yeah.
Nobody realizes that. They think Little Rock is a place where that's not true. The center of that state is in Fayetteville, Arkansas.
And they're having the same problem Alabama had. Birmingham put pressure on Alabama for all those years to play games in Birmingham. Absolutely. They're doing the same thing in Little Rock. And Little Rock, that's a junk stadium. I mean, nobody wants to go there.
It's like Legion Field in Birmingham.
It is, exactly.
It is, Mike.
And why the politics still make them play a couple of games a year from there.
They're going to stop. They're stopping that in 2 years. I think Chad Marsh came in and he brought a new attitude there. Chad Marsh was the offensive coordinator at Clemson when they won the national championship 2 years ago. Yeah. So they bring in a guy that's got some background. He coached in Texas at the high school level for 15 years in Texas. He can go into any high school in Texas. I've watched the recruiting closely. They've already upgraded their recruiting. They're going to finish close to the bottom in the West this year. They're going to start a freshman quarterback, that big old kid that finished unbeatable last year. He's not going to play. They're going to start making a tight end or something else. They're bringing in a freshman kid that runs a run and shoot that Marsh already knows. And, they picked up 2 good running backs. I look for them. They may get 6 or 7. They could get 6 or 7 wins this year. But after this, they won't compete with Alabama.
Yeah.
Probably not Auburn physically, but they'll go be able to compete. A&M's going to be the team to watch. I agree with you on that 100%. But they're going to be better. Let's put it the way. I think they can move up to the middle of the SEC West.
So, ladies and gentlemen, Max Howell speaking to us from Fulton, Mississippi. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back.
Life is hectic enough without worrying if your lights will stay on or if there's hot water for your child's bath. So count on natural gas to keep the energy flowing, even when the weather is unpredictable. Natural gas is always there to keep your home warm, showers hot, and food cooked to perfection. That's why America has relied on safe and affordable natural gas for more than 150 years. And we will be here for you and future generations too. You can count on natural gas from Southeast Alabama Gas District.
Did you know at Wiley Sanders Truck Line that we offer Blue Cross Blue Shield, we offer dental, we offer disability, we offer vision, we offer life insurance, cancer insurance. We also have a 401k where we match up to 4%, dollar per dollar up to 4%. We also have automatic trucks at Wiley Sanders Truck Line. If you go to a truck driving school, we'll reimburse you. And don't forget about the $1,000 sign-on bonus. Money! Wiley Sanders Truck Line, Troy, Alabama. Wiley Sanders Truck Line. We help you save for your future.
At the Piggly Wiggly, we proudly support our local farmers and bring you the best they have to offer, all at cost plus 10%. When you shop local, you reinvest in your community. Remember, buy local, shop local. Piggly Wiggly, local since forever.
The new Smokehouse Pizza from Little Caesars is our first pizza with 3 smoked meats, so we got barbecue champion Big Mo Quezon to test it out. 8-hour smoked brisket.
Certified beefified.
10-hour smoked pulled pork.
Certified Hoggified.
Applewood smoked bacon.
Certified Baconfied.
Drizzled with tangy barbecue sauce plus a Smokehouse seasoned crust.
Certified Smokified.
The new Smokehouse Pizza. Only $9 and only at Little Caesars.
Have really enjoyed them. They want me to move down there, but
Back to our show, Max Howell's on our guest, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, I still haven't seen Phil Steele's catalog yet, Max.
Mike.
But he normally waits. Has he already sold out?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, I know. I mean, of course, it is good reading. But most of the time, his magazines come out later than the rest.
They do. Yeah, his didn't come out to July.
You know, a magazine I've enjoyed this year, though, is the old Granddaddy Amal, Street and Smith. Do you remember that magazine?
That's so long. Yeah, I'm surprised they're still in business, Mike.
Yeah.
I tell you the truth.
But
you know, the print business has gone down tremendously.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I tell you what, though, when you're in minding your business, that kind of information comes in pretty handy, doesn't it?
Very true. Absolutely, it does. Absolutely.
Of course, Max Howell is a native of Prattville, Alabama, and of course came to Troy after a short stint at Auburn. And coming to Troy was the best move you ever made in your life, wasn't it?
No doubt about it, Mike. And I think it's become more and more the older I get. And to watch that program, and you and I have talked about this so many times, to watch that program mature to the level that it has. You know, I think I was fortunate enough to be there in the Clemson era to play, but I was also very fortunate to come back with Billy Atkins.
Well, I'll tell you this, Max, you've seen it happen so many times. All right, Troy lost, you know, for the last 10 or 12 years, Troy's had the same quarterback to start for all those times. But now they've got 2 quarterbacks that are battling for the starting role.
Yeah.
One I might have a little bit of step ahead of the other one, but like Coach Brown says, and he's really helpless other than this, they're going to be as good as those 2 quarterbacks are. You know, those quarterbacks have got to be good for Troy to win. Don't you agree?
They do. That offense, you're right. The offense is a quarterback-oriented offense, and you know, and they've been blessed with some good running backs. The offensive front's good, but their defense is going to be good.
Yeah, their defense is going to be good. You're right.
They know that they, and this is, and you'll hear them say this, Mike. You got to stop from losing before you win.
Exactly right.
That's what you do it on defense. And I look forward to. I think opening up that opening ball game, they'll do good. The second ball game, the Boise game is going to be very important to them. I know Boise's going to be ranked in the top 15 in the country. But here's my contention. Boise's got to fly 2,500 miles to Troy, Alabama, and it's hot and humid.
And it's a different type of heat, isn't it, when you say?
Yes, absolutely. And I think if Coach Brown and that bunch can work on a substitution pattern, and they can hold Boise to keep from scoring 30 before the fourth quarter,
yeah.
I think they can come back with it.
I do too, and I'm thinking defensively Troy's going to be good. Now these 2 athletes at quarterback are real good athletes. They're kids that can run. It gives Troy the type quarterback that they want is the guy that can not only throw the ball, but he can make things happen if the play breaks down.
Well, Silvers took him a long way, Mike. He was a bright kid, but throwing as good as anybody in the country. Had adequate speed, but he didn't have that. He wasn't a running threat.
Yeah, you're right. He wasn't.
But the offense, if Coach Brown wants to run, you need a guy like that. And I think that's why he's optimistically happy that he's finally got him a couple of guys that can run the football.
And it puts so much more pressure on him, right? Before they handed it to Chun every time, and the quarterback every now and then would keep it himself, and most of the time they'd be big yardage. But those linebackers now have to be much more concerned about the quarterback running football, so he can't jump into that hole quite as quick. You know what I mean?
Exactly. You're absolutely right. And I think I'm excited for him. I think in most of the polls I've seen, Troy's ranked second, I think, in the conference. But I think they got a chance to win it. I think Neil Brown believes that as well.
They got a walk-on kid from Wetumpka a few years back. His name is Hunter Reese, and now they're looking at him as a potential All-American. And he's on every cover of Troy magazines and so forth. He's a kid that had just come out of nowhere to be a great player. He played defensive end. He had 14 tackles for a loss last year. He had 6 or 7 sacks last year. And he's a linebacker that everybody's real high on. But the quarterback right now, the two quarterbacks, one of them is from Priceville, Alabama, which is south of Decatur. How many players have you ever heard that came out of Priceville?
I don't believe I ever heard of one, Mike.
Well, I'll tell you one of the best compliments that I've heard about him. First of all, he's fast. He's one of the fastest men on the team. He's a quarterback, of course. He's a savvy type kid. You remember the old guys like Sam Bird, when they walk to they're real cocky, and the linebacker wants to knock his head off because he's being real cocky, and that's where this kid is. He's real confident, and he's got that way about him that makes the team play hard for him. But he could be the real thing. And of course, this Sawyer Smith, the other quarterback, comes out of the Pensacola area. You know how good at football that is. I think he comes. I think he played at. I want to say he played at Tate High School. I'm not sure.
That's good.
And came out of a good program, or Pace, either Tate or Pace, one or the other. And that's pretty good. If you can recruit that area, if Troy could always recruit parts of the Columbus, Georgia area, and the South Georgia area, all of Alabama, and the Florida Panhandle, I think you can win football games, don't you?
You can do that. I had a long talk with Coach Brown about their recruiting when I was at their golf tournament this summer. And he was quick to say, he talked about the kid from Priceville.
Yeah.
He said they love to go into those smaller communities and find those kids that wanted to go to college and wanted to play football and was not swayed by the 100,000 people being in the stadium and all the bright lights. And he said, once we can get them to campus, he said, if they want to play, we'll coach them up.
Yeah.
And I think he's proven that, Mike.
This kid's 6'1", 210, so I'll tell you something, a compliment that he got. Rick Rhodes, and I have a lot of respect for Rick Rhodes as a coach. You remember him?
I know Rick.
He took Troy to national championship in 1987. His son is a football coach up in the Birmingham area, and they played against this kid, this Barker kid's team in high school, and he said he was the best quarterback that he had seen since not Jay Barker, but kid that played at Alabama. The kid that he coached at in Birmingham that went to Alabama. I'm trying to think of his name, but he compared him with one of the best. He thought he was one of the best quarterbacks he had seen. Then he gets hurt. The kid gets hurt, so he gets lost in the shuffle, and Troy picked him up. You know how a kid could be early in his senior year, get hurt and not play the rest of the season. Well, the recruiters backed off of him, and Troy got him.
Well, I've seen that happen so many times. kid. And on the other side, I've seen that high-profile kid come in and for whatever reason just couldn't quite fit in. I don't know if it be his attitudes or he may get hurt early in his career and never rebound from that. But I've seen those that get hurt also at the high school level come back and have great collegiate careers. So I just the coaching staff really has to make the call on that, Mike.
Yeah.
If they think that they get all the medical reports and all, and if the injury today, if they can rehab it, which they can most times, unlike when you and I came along, you get a knee injury.
Oh, you were gone. You were out of here.
They did. But now, look, I've seen them. This was after I got off the field, but I've got friends that still coach. Said they can do arthroscopic surgery if it's a minor.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
They can practice in the afternoon.
Exactly. You're exactly right. And you know the sad thing about it back in your day, and you got to admit this now, Max, that if you got hurt, it was just like you didn't play anymore.
It was over.
It was like you didn't even belong anymore. Y'all. Atkins was one of the worst I've ever seen about it. Boy, if he got hurt, goodbye, son. We don't need you anymore.
Well, I can remember kids get hurt in practice. Now the trainers would take care of him. Billy said, just move down the field. Let's keep going.
Yeah, exactly. But at the same time, he's telling his team that so and so's hurt. He can't help us anymore. Get your mind off him. We'll go with the next guy. That's what he said. And that was the way you had to look at it.
That was the NFL attitude. See?
That's right. Exactly.
NFL.
Exactly right.
Businessman, and I think that's what turned the program, Mike.
No question.
It just brought the whole business attitude.
Yeah.
Then you know what, Mike? Here's the thing, and I've told you this before. Winning became the most important thing.
Yeah.
We were taught how to coach when we played, and we just played because we were being taught how to coach when I played there. But when I went back there to coach, we talked about winning.
You're right. You're right.
That's what it was all about.
No question about it.
Today.
I want to run through the Sun Belt real quick. I think it's an up and coming league. Of course, Troy's program is up high. Appalachian State's program is very well respected. Georgia State's program is going to get better and better. With that new stadium right there in Atlanta, they're going to do much better. All they need is a great recruiter, and they'll win. Don't you agree?
I agree with that. Yes,
and then Georgia Southern, that's very good football at Georgia Southern, and they're going to run the wishbone, and they're going to create problems. But a team that's going to be there one day, and it might be sooner or later, is Coastal Carolina. They got money, they got population. Yeah. Those people up there are hungry, and their coach is back with them now after being sick for a year. So Coastal Carolina program, wouldn't you say would be a good one day?
I think that's going to be a good one. I mean, this is a great opportunity. Yeah. They got a great opportunity because they do have the money, and they can recruit at a high level. And kids, a lot of kids in those areas, particularly North Carolina, South Carolina, Mike, they want to stay close to home.
Yeah, no question.
It's a good opportunity because level of competition.
Yeah, and in the other division, Arkansas State's always tough, and they're going to be very good. Louisiana Monroe, they think is going to be better, and like you said, all you need is a good recruiter and a good coach. Louisiana Lafayette's going to always be good. That's a big area, that Louisiana Lafayette area. And then South Alabama, don't count them out. They've got a great coach who's won everywhere he's been, and he's got a lot of Troy connection, and he's got a lot of option connection. The option football is still at South Alabama, and it's going to always be at Georgia Southern. And Texas State has close to 40,000 students on campus. It's a huge on-campus state, but they haven't found the right chemistry yet to have a great football team. But when they do, they could be really tough, couldn't they?
Yeah, no doubt. Look, it's got numbers. Let me tell you what, numbers like that represent potential big budgets.
Yeah.
Big budgets can hire people that can coach, and they can recruit nationally. But it all starts with numbers, Mike.
Yeah. All right, Max, we don't have but a minute or so. Everybody's been waiting for your recipe. Let me tell you this. I had the best hot dog I've had in a long time. It was a chili dog with onions and mustard, and it was a real nice wiener on the bun. And you know where it came from? Hardee's. Listen, fry a hot dog from Hardee's, and it is delicious if you can handle the onions. I don't handle onions very well, but I love them. But it was a chili dog, and it was delicious.
The only place I buy hot dogs out of and have for 50 years, Mike, is Chris's in Montgomery.
Yeah, that's right.
I've been going there since I was 15 years old.
I know what you mean.
I'm telling you, that was good. Anyway, I mentioned to you yesterday, this past weekend, I had a really, really good outing. It was kind of cool up here comparatively. It wasn't even 90 degrees. That good cool breeze coming off the water at my buddy's fishing camp down there. I did ribs. I did the vinegar and salt. I do two types. I do the baby backs. I do vinegar and salt with one group.
Do you marinate them in the vinegar and the salt? Or do you?
I don't. Yeah, I brush them off to begin with.
Yeah.
Here's what I do. Like every time I turn them, I baste them with that vinegar and salt. Or I have a lot of people can't eat the salt, so I do vinegar and brown sugar.
Yeah.
And that brown sugar and the vinegar and the salt and all crystallizes that. It makes them.
Was the meat falling off the bone? Was it falling off the bone?
Oh man, the meat was just unbelievable.
And what did you have with it?
We had coleslaw, baked beans, potato salad, garlic bread, and big old pitcher of iced tea. But let me tell you, dessert was banana pudding.
Oh boy!
I did a hot banana pudding, a warm.
See, I like that too.
I warmed it, pulled it out, and I put first of all I put whipped cream on top. Then I sprinkled it with pecans.
Oh, man, that sounds good. Max Howell, ladies and gentlemen, one of the great sports analysts in the country, and we're looking forward to talking to him this whole football season and get his ideas and points of interest in college football and high school football. And we just love the game, don't we?
Man, I don't know how I'd do without it, Mike.
Yeah. Hey, I'm going to do some bebopping this weekend. You know what I'm talking about, don't you? Some bebopping.
I know. I'm glad for you. I'm proud. I've been following it.
I tell you what, to me, it makes me feel young to hear Ain't Too Proud to Beg and Dream Lover and Stand By Me and It Will Stand and Hey Girl. Boy, I can't wait, man.
I know you can. All those guys, I probably know some of them along the way.
You probably knew Ellie Bo, Jimmy Ellis. You probably knew him. He'll be here.
I do. You tell all those guys I said hello, and certainly I always look forward to being on the air with you, buddy.
All right, brother. Thank you so much, Max.
All right, buddy. Talk to you soon.
Thank you. And ladies and gentlemen, thanks to all of our sponsors today. We're excited about the coming football season. We'll be talking a lot of football, but we'll talk about anything you want to talk when you call in. Appreciate Bud calling from Luverne. Always interested in what he has to say. And all of you, we hope you will have a great day, and we'll see you bright and early in the morning for Today in LA.